Back here on One Bills Live, Chris Brown, Steve Tasker, pleased to be joined by our good friend here, right on the set at the NFL Scouting Combine, NFL Network analytics expert Cynthia Frelund. Thanks for giving us a little bit of a time. You're making the rounds here. You're a busy lady, to no one's surprise. I know you've been doing a lot of work on NFL.com. Wanted to kind of tap into that a little bit, including the latest mock, where you have Mr. Kenneth Grant going to the Bills, and I think a behemoth of a defensive tackle would be a welcome addition. Is he really going to slip that far, you think? You think he's going to get there?
Well, hopefully for the Bills.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll cross my fingers and toes, but you're the analytics expert. I mean,
hopefully,
you know the history.
The Bills.
You know the history of the big guys coming off the board sooner than a lot of other positions because big guys are hard to find.
To be fair, this free agency period is maybe the weirdest one I've seen in a while. I don't know what these quarterbacks are. I don't know what's going to happen with these quarterback needy. Now, if all of those quarterback needy teams kind of they want to use the draft, I don't know. Maybe we could see another maybe three in the first round. I don't know. At least two.
Yeah.
I don't know. This weird class. But, so my problem with poor Kenneth Grant, well, poor Bills fans, I'm hearing rumors that he showed up at 3:32, not 3:50-something, and that he's going to run a sub-5:40, which means he definitely won't be around at 30.
And he has 35-inch arms.
Right, he can scratch the bottom of his foot without bending over. So
that's a long way of saying it's a nice thought, but the likelihood is...
To be fair, I did this one before the Super Bowl.
That's right.
But I heard he showed up.
So everything at the top of the draft, everything centers around the quarterback needy teams and what they think about the guys that are coming out. And my thought is, and you said, well, what if they go draft? What if they go free agency? My thought is this. I think, to their credit, the Steelers did it right last year. You bring everybody you can get your hands on in, particularly if you can get them cheap.
Yep.
That's the key. And I think all these teams do both. They go draft, they go free agency, they get them their hands on them as much, get as many guys in and let them compete, whatever. Aaron Rodgers is in the mix, Stafford's in the mix.
Sam Darnold,
Russ Wilson, Justin Fields, go down the list. Those guys are going to end up somewhere.
Yep.
How's it going to affect the top of this draft?
It depends on the money. The interesting part is, I think we're going to go to 280 for the cap, which is a little higher than people thought. Right around 280, 281, something
Quite
like that.
a bit higher, yeah.
Right. So that frees up a little bit of space.
Yeah. But it does it for everybody, though. So it's like, we're all there.
Right. So what is Matthew Stafford's free agency market? Is 17-year player, vet? Are you going to, are you going to want to pay him something like we saw Kirk Cousins last year? Is Sam Darnold going to command that? That will dictate. I wouldn't mind someone if I'm the Giants who've had a real problem figuring out quarterback, get everyone, bring them all in. But I would also think they need to decide between Will Campbell, who's there's really not a lot of tackles. This is not a problem for Bills fans because you got two of the best.
Good.
But O-line is a really nice thing because this is a terrible free agent class for O-line. This is a terrible draft class.
Yeah.
Other than LSU, that guy's good.
Right.
Yeah.
Will Campbell. But that's one, and you won't. At 30, you would never get him, even if you needed one.
Okay, so let me dovetail off the lack of likelihood of seeing somebody like Kenneth Grant at pick 30.
Yep.
In your history of kind of looking at value at the end of round one, are there positions that traditionally have offered good return on investment at the end of round one? Are there a couple there that make sense? I know there's a lot of variables. Every class is different, so I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot with that.
No, I think this year, I actually think that the corner from Michigan could be available there.
Will John? Really?
Yeah, I think he could. That's possible. That would be amazing value.
Steal.
Yes. It's possible. I really like him. I don't think
Just got me all excited again.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But it depends on, how people are valuing defensive tackle. People want to stop the run. Well, the good news for the Bills is, you don't need some of the things other people need. So that gives you some freedom to be able to pick. You always, top 5 positions you need to account for. You got Josh, great. You got both tackles, which left tackles, I mean, we love Deanne, but, left tackle's the one, but we love Spencer too. Great.
Right.
And then, wide receiver, corner, and then your pass rushers, number 3, and then wide receiver, corner are 4 and 5, or 5 and 4, however you want to do it. But, that's the priority. You're in good shape there.
So corner has shown good value historically near the bottom of round one?
In this class, based on what's available. Now, I would say in other classes, you should probably double back for a wide receiver. I don't know if in this class that's going to be
not a sexy wide receiver class.
I know
that's right.
Yeah, so free agency's got to happen. We've got a lot of bridges to cross before we get to anything. But here's the right now. This
Yep.
This is set in stone. The Bills have 30, 56, and 62. Brownie early on was saying, and I agree with him, maybe a double up. You go defensive tackle, defensive end, defensive end, defensive tackle, defensive tackle, defensive tackle. Then the third guy, whatever he's going to be, could be a corner, could be a wide out.
Could be a safety.
Could be a safety. How do you feel about doubling? The Bills have done it before.
Love.
They've doubled up on the position.
I've told Brandon a million times that I think that is one of the smartest strategies you can do. Like, it's maybe not your first. Like, look, you're picking 30, so you're basically picking in the second round. Not,
right.
It's
No,
not
you're
like
right.
like
You're right.
it'd be one thing if you were doing 1, then 33. Like, that's maybe not the same because the value, the trade chart is very different there.
Yeah.
But if you're picking 30 and 56, I don't care. 30 and 62, fine by me. Like, it's not like you're sitting there giving up so much equity. You're basically picking in the second round.
We've talked about this. Last year there were 15. This year we talked to Greg Cosell he says there's 10 guys that are first-round guys.
Blue chip
guys.
Elite.
This year there's 10. Last year there's
Sparse.
15. There's never 32 or 40.
No.
There's less than the first round. So you're right. You're picking second-round level expectations. Now, certainly you can get lucky, and the guy might turn into be a game wrecker, but you can't see it. So,
or you get lucky picking a corner in a late round and he turns into Christian Benford.
Right. So you're thinking, okay,
We'll take that too.
But
Right.
that was a double up pick too because you picked another guy who's not maybe as great
right.
in that position.
So you're
But
thinking that's a bold
I love that strategy.
Double it up.
I
on
love that
position.
strategy, especially you have coaches who have a vision for what they want on
Right.
both sides of the ball. What you have a quarterback who has a vision for what he wants. So you could you could be in a situation where maybe who knows, right? You could take 2 wide receivers. Who cares?
Right.
This is a billion picks. You have so many
That's true.
picks. So what happens? Okay, you cut one. Sorry. Oh, you can trade one. Like okay.
Yeah.
That's a terrible outcome. Just kidding.
Right.
These are not bad.
Sarcastic,
These are not
yeah.
bad. Yeah.
All right, last one from me because I know in general
Yep.
trading back has better value than trading up.
Depends. Right.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
there are exceptions, but
Yep.
I've heard from more than one person that the sizable drop off in talent is from round 3 to round 4. Once you get into day 3, there is a precipitous drop off there. The Bills have 2 2s and 2 4s. They're going to probably have 2 5s with compensatories and 2 6s. Merit to maybe packaging a couple of the 4s or a 4 and a 5 and getting back into round 3 to maybe get the last of the crop of talent that could probably help you sooner rather than later. Any merit to that this year, move up into round 3? Because we know Brandon goes both ways, through his history.
I'm an asterisk person there because the Bills have better scouts. Look at how your draft picks have performed. So if I'm I'm asterisking that because if you see a guy who's a Bill, like, who cares? Like, and you think you can still get him at and D-Lock is telling you can still get him at 131. I don't know. Don't move up from that. Like,
Right.
So I guess
because of Buffalo's middle round success.
Yeah, like
hang
you're giving
out.
and here's the other thing. This draft class is freaking weird. And we say there's 10 that are blue chip, but I would argue that in some people's perception, there's a lot more of those guys later that can be contributor, not necessarily blue chip, but contributors
on the field,
year one. And those guys, like, the transfer portal is a nightmare. NIL and the transfer portal together has made this total nightmare where all of these resumes are really incomplete because this guy's moving here, so all we can do is this part of our playbook. This guy's moving here, now we can do this part of our playbook. And it's making it very hard. It's not to say they can't do it, they just haven't.
It is helpful, though, in one way. You get these guys, particularly the ones that are on the field a lot, and we saw that last year when one of the players the Bills picked up from the Jets early on, Brandon Codrington.
Yep.
He had
his last name is really hard for me to say.
Yes.
Codrington.
Yes.
Codrington.
He had
120 returns in college.
Yeah, he had 10 dozen returns in college. So you knew
but
because
that's
of
teams.
Yes. But this NIL thing is you get a chance to see a guy in this culture, this program, this culture, this program, this culture, and this
and he's
program.
used to learning new systems.
That's right. Ray Davis had 1,000 yards at 3 different schools.
Yep.
The NIL was a plus there because you got a guy that he could do it.
Sure.
But you're right. It does limit you in other places.
Again, places that you guys don't really like. It is a nightmare for offensive line.
Right.
Find me a pulling guard.
Yeah, okay.
Oh wait. Yeah, I don't know. Like, they just don't have time to teach some of those things.
Right.
So you're right. For pass rusher, for running back, and for wide receivers that plays
money.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's the easier job to learn, right? Try to find safeties that you really can say, I feel great about this safety.
Yeah.
If they didn't play at the same place for more than a year. Like, it's wild, man. Yeah. It's hard.
Thanks, Cynthia.
Cynthia,
God,
appreciate the time, as always. Always good to see you. We'll catch you up with you as we get closer
to the NFL
draft and get you on here once again.